Welcome to Extra Scottish. I'm Callum Blackstock. As you know, I'm Scottish. Now, what you might not know is I'm also half Danish. So today's movie, Another Round, starring Mads Mikkelsen, Thomas Bo Larsen. Mads Mikkelsen plays a teacher. Matter of fact, it's four friends who are all teachers, and he's kind of in a slump. He's in a slump with his marriage too. He's married to a Swedish lady, which for me made it like I can understand all the Danish. I was watching this with my wife, and she's doing the undertext, which is a bit distracting for me because I'd prefer not to have the undertext. Just listen to the Danish, but it was good because I'm terrible at Swedish, so I couldn't really understand what she was saying. But I digress. I'll go back. These four teachers, they decide based off of this Norwegian, which I believe is a real life Norwegian philosopher, or he's come up with the idea that you need to have like a little bit of alcohol in your system to really get the max out of life. So they take this theory to heart and do a hypothesis on it, and they go ahead and start by having a little bit of alcohol in their system, and it springs Mads Mikkelsen's teaching to life. He seems to be on the up, and then they lift the ante up a little bit and decide to drink a little bit more, just to theorize what that could do for you. That's when it starts going south a little bit of chaos happens, and for Thomas Bo Larsen's character, as I predicted, because I'm a real big Thomas Bo Larsen fan, he's one of my favorites, but it goes even more awry for him, and you'll find out what happens to him. But it altogether, it's an interesting theory. It's a interesting movie. It's so specifically a Danish movie, because as I was talking with my wife, who's American, right, and it just kind of thing wouldn't happen in America, but in Denmark, it's they have a different philosophy, and it was fun to watch for me. Themes. So themes: status quo, inner peace. So the status quo is, of course, don't put alcohol in your system consistently throughout the day. And they were testing the boundaries of that, obviously. And then inner peace is really, to me, it was like midlife crisis for these guys, and they're in a slump, and they were trying to find something, and it happened to be this. You know, in a way, could it have been something else? It possibly could have been. They saw this as a way to rejuvenate what clearly wasn't working for each of them in different ways. And we focus mostly in on Mads Mikkelsen and his attempt to switch his life around, maybe save his marriage that seems to be going downward, and also inject some life into his career. Best scene, one of the best scenes to me is when they decide to up the ante and drink even more. So what happens if we just get totally hammered here? And Mads Mikkelsen, they make a drink. They put four of these drinks on the table, and a couple of guys drink, and they're like, oh, that's amazing. And Mads Mikkelsen's like, no, because everything's on the up for him now. It seems like he's doing better, and he's like, no, I'll just go home, guys. You know, I'll sit this one out. And he's just about going out the door, takes a look at the glass, and he's drawn back in. And that particular night, it goes pretty south for him. He ends up waking up on the side of the street, and his mate there ends up peeing the bed, which earlier in the movie, his little son peed on him, and he was upset about that, and it winds up role reversal, and it's really quite embarrassing, and it was definitely this is why you don't do this side of the whole thing. Best performance, well, obviously Mads Mikkelsen. He's always great. It doesn't matter what you've seen him in. He brings it, whether it's in an English speaking movie or in Danish movies. There's many of his that I've seen that I really enjoy. I remember him back in the day in a movie called Pusher. That whole series, he's great in that. And then for me also Thomas Bo Larsen, because just personally for him, he's like my favorite Danish actor. He's just excellent, and I know when he's just gonna go that direction, and he does that again in this movie. He's kind of mellow for a little bit, but you know, he'll inject some of his signature uh, way of being into this movie as well. So definitely, if you've never seen him before, please watch this for that, because he's excellent. Maybe's aye, maybe's nah. A resounding aye for me. So I thought it was a good movie. It was well balanced. It had the humor. It had the seriousness. It had you thinking. It had great acting. And really, in talking to my wife about it, she really enjoyed it too. So the undertext element of it doesn't throw you off too much. There's nothing too complicated in there, bar maybe when they're writing down their thesis on this experiment. But really, other than that, it's easy to follow along with, and easy to enjoy and get talking about afterward. Another movie I would recommend that you go back and watch, Thomas Vinterberg, who directed this. One of his early ones, Festen, or The Party, as it's known in English. Now, along with Lars von Trier, he started a thing called Dogma 95, because they started it in 1995, and this is where they use natural light, and I believe it wasn't scripted, and they had a whole manifesto on how you shoot the movie, and Festen is one of those movies. Thomas Bo Larsen, who I like as well, is in that movie. So that's definitely a movie you should watch. Even more intense than this movie, as a disclaimer, but definitely go back and watch some of these older movies and go down the Danish movie rabbit hole. This go round we'll go with Danish word. So appropriately it would be fuld, which means drunk. So fuld in Denmark is drunk. Kan I ikke lige abonnere til det her skotsk kanal her? Det er rigtig hjælp ham her. Tak skal du have, mand.